what's our next time marker?
Okay, so the next time marker is 40 seconds. We only have 2 left. So everyone pause at 40 seconds.
And that's
if you're listening and you lost sound and now you're hearing us again because you refreshed the page, we are all paused at 40 seconds. I think it's cool that they went with this fire, with all of these fire scenes. Just because it sort of mirrors their logo. I'm sure that was the whole point.
Right. No, I mean, any chance you can put fire into that, but also that was just really cool. You get this kind of badass Katniss running through the forest, dodging trees and fire and flames and all the rest.
Well, they showed a fireball, too. I thought the fireball was cool.
The fire looks real. Yeah. It doesn't very, it's really good.
Yeah, it looked completely real to me. I mean, I think that I don't know, maybe, could it be real? I mean, I know that they were using a lot of pyrotechnics and things, but I also don't think that they would burn a forest down.
This is a rumor that's circulating. The reason Jennifer Lawrence wasn't there is because she got burned by that flame and couldn't make it out to LA.
No. But I thought they filmed all this stuff a long time ago.
Yeah, I did from a while back.
That was a joke, by the way. I was kidding.
Okay.
That's my excuse for what I thought was a big mistake. That I think she was really. Look, I understand they're doing shooting and all of that, but it was a great opportunity missed. And I can't imagine, when you think about the cost-benefit ratio, if they wouldn't have been better off suspending shooting for one day to have her there doing that amazing promotion. But obviously that's my opinion.
I think that was. Everybody keeps saying that was via satellite. They've been shooting on sound stages for quite a while now, doing the Capitol, and she was outside with the trailers and the trees. And I keep wondering if they had this planned a lot longer than we think, and that was taped a while ago.
No, I thought it looked like it could have been at the Philip Morris compound. That place is really big with a lot of lawns and stuff like that.
That place is really huge, and it's completely surrounded by trees.
Well, the way they kept going, it's like it's via satellite, like it's live now. Well, it's dark in North Carolina at that moment, so I'm like, no, it's not live. So she looked so tired, though. She did.
She did look incredibly tired.
Poor thing.
I just found a transcript of what Gale says exactly, so if you're listening and you're wondering, I saw someone who wasn't quite sure what he said at one point. So he says, okay, listen to me. You're stronger than they are. You are. They just want a good show. That's all they want. You know how to hunt. Show them how good you are. Okay, so, yeah, I don't think that's cheesy at all.
It's not cheesy.
No.
I thought it was cheesy because of the way it was done. I think if it hadn't been a voiceover, and this is where I think maybe not the best choice for the teaser, in my opinion, because if you saw that scene earlier in the movie when it was more poignant, and then you had her thinking back on it, then it makes sense to me, and you say, I remember those words. But to see it as an independent piece like that, it struck me as cheesy. And I hope most people don't think that. There were a lot of people who were writing to me and telling me that they agreed with that in some of the various chat rooms. But look, again, I think it's how well you understand the story, and my fear is that people who don't know what the Hunger Games is, this is the only impression that they have. And they're not looking at it the same way that all of you are. Because you know who Gale is, you know what the moment is that's going on. Do you see what I'm saying?
It's kind of a different twist, though, because, they easily could have had Jennifer Lawrence voicing over as Katniss talking about what she's doing. But instead they have Liam doing Gale, talking to her through the arena, while the readers would know that. Anybody else who views it would be wondering, why is this dude talking?
I think it's very much you think it's cheesy as the scene that it comes from?
I think it's cheesy in that you have 30 seconds to show Hunger Games to the whole world. This is your first teaser, and, I would have maybe focused on something else. Look, this is my opinion. I'm not, clearly I think,
I understand what you're saying. I agree to a certain extent, but I wouldn't call it cheesy. I would call it something else. I don't know what, though.
I think a lot of this, in some ways, it's to bring in, I know when you're talking about this, and even Gary said, this is a teaser. It's just, there's more coming. And I think in some ways I wouldn't doubt that this is more for the fans of the book than, it will pique the interest of people, but I think the further down the pieces that they show later will be more designed to bring in that audience. I think this is more to reassure the fans and show us what they've been doing, because we've been so antsy and so eager for anything, and they've been so tight on the reins. And so I think this is, I've talked to people that it really has sparked their interest, and they want to read the books now, and they want to know what happens next, and they don't want to wait till March to find out what is going on. So, that's good. So I think it will bring some people in, but I do think it was more for the fans.
I agree 100%.
I just question whether that's the best strategy when you're at the VMAs and you're reaching such a large audience. That's all. Because if you really want to do something for the fans, you could release that through fan sites and other places and give that same message. I just feel like it was an opportunity that maybe was used well, but could have come of it, is all I'm saying. And look, they'll have many, many, many opportunities to impress people who have never heard of Hunger Games. So this is really not important in the grand scheme of things. But I'm just saying on this one particular night, in my opinion, there are two things that they could have maybe done better. One, if not have Jennifer Lawrence be there, then at least have somebody else come, maybe Lenny Kravitz, someone from the movie present live, because that would have had such a more personal effect, I think, on people watching. And secondly, maybe to have really showed the essence of the Hunger Games in a way that in 30 seconds leaves people just catching their breath. And I think they will, but, this was just my opinion, I guess, on what they could have done. So, and I would love to be negated on that and have people tell me I'm an idiot, and because I want this movie to do as well as to sell every ticket imaginable in this country and worldwide. So.
Do you think that the teaser trailer was put together kind of last minute, though? I feel like everything kind of seemed a little rushed and formed together, in my opinion. I had to.
No, I think a lot of it was deliberate. I think that rather than show you, quick flashes of all the action, they wanted to keep it very simple, that they wanted to keep it focused on Katniss. They didn't want to give everything away. And I know that it did pique a lot of people's curiosity, whether they've read the books or not. So I think they did a good job.
I just saw there were some polls that were online with some negative reactions. I'm not saying that that's indicative of everything, and I think a lot of that is MTV's fault, in part for waiting so long to show it, and the way in which they introduced it, I think.
Yeah, I was telling Adam earlier that, even if no one from the film was available, they could have had, anyone get up there and formally introduce it and actually make people in the audience pay attention to it. And react live. I think that would have been really cool. I also, I'm surprised, but I kind of like the fact that they didn't, because Liam Hemsworth is sort of like a popular name with the MTV crowd, so they could have sort of advertised him being in the movie, or even Josh Hutcherson. A lot of girls are really into him, but they didn't say anything about any of. They didn't even mention that Lenny Kravitz was in it, or Stanley Tucci or Elizabeth Banks, or all of these huge names. That kind of surprised me a bit. I feel like they could have got a lot more attention.
What bothers me now that I think about it is that afterwards they just launched right back into the show. They didn't even talk about it.
Right.
Right, and it's like, thanks, Hunger Games, even though you gave us the biggest audience we've ever had, the highest ratings, and it's totally because of Lionsgate and Hunger Games.